Make silence, please. For your president, Mr. David Vincent. Quiet! The president is trying to speak.
Use your microphone.
Well, just Can you hear me?
Just.
I just go to microphone. It's speaking this end.
Says Anne. Oh, it's
Yeah. I'm okay this end. You all right?
Better.
Better?
Yeah.
I shall.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, evening everyone. Bit different, bit strange, but just to say a few thanks to all for zooming in, making it another great year, Peter, and for the club on and off the water, and just keeping us on a high and riding us on top of the wave. I put. This is just something I've noted in the last 5 minutes. And with the great work of our El Capitano, puts a smile on his face. And also I would like to say a big thank you for Tracy for all her hard work over the years, and for the rest of the teams who work so hard. To mention one person because you actually all do so well. So I mentioned to you all, you really do well as a team.
oh my God!
Last year, named after me was made me very proud.
Oh look, here we go.
President is really a privilege, and I'd really just sit on the sidelines watching you, and I'd great pleasure in doing this. What else do I say? Well done to all. Take care of yourselves, and hopefully soon we'll all be on the water, and there is good ahead, I believe. So all again.
Thank you, Dave.
Good speech.
Everybody else needs to be.
Trouble is, so many people, it's hard to know when to speak, isn't it?
Okay. Right. Thank you, Dave. Thanks very much. Apologies that I've literally typed this speech out, but I didn't want to sit on a video and get the words wrong, etc. So that's how we've done it. So good evening again, all. And I've got to be honest, I struggled for a while to decide the right word to describe writing these opening lines to this speech. And I think even the word that I finally chose wasn't the correct one, which was odd, because hard or difficult should be reserved for those who have truly suffered under this pandemic. And I know all our thoughts and prayers are with them, as well as with all our loved ones, so we can come through this unscathed. But I know that if you're anything like Anne and I, then we are desperately missing being close to our family and friends, and hope we will see light at the end of the tunnel soon. From a sport point of view, I am almost at the end of my patience.
Oh.
And rest assured, as soon as the government announces its plans for the phased easing of restrictions, then the officers of the club will be back on Zoom to discuss our options. I think crew rowing will still be a little way off, but we will take our lead from British rowing and look at other clubs to see how we can open up to the ultimate benefit of everyone. So now on to more positive things. We thought we could brighten up all our week by holding this event, and also not let last year's success slip by, and by not celebrating it. And I'm so pleased that so many of you thought the same. 3 awards at last year's Hanson Dorset Championship dinner was just reward for all the efforts that had gone on right across the club, both on and off the water. We continue to make huge strides in the financial position of the club, the equipment available, and the coaching support. When I look back on last year's speech, and yes, I decided it was so good I kept it, I made a comment that maybe we should give the Novice Cup to the coaches. It's due to the amount of effort that they had to put in to get those crews to the starting line. And that at that time, they were about to see their efforts come to fruition with the first head of the season only a week away. And boy, did those efforts bear fruit, with no less than 5 novice wins last year, culminating in the runners-up in the men's championship and outright champions in the ladies.
3 girls.
Well done to all 20 of those rowers and their coxswains, but particularly to their coaches. Helen and Clary for the men, Megan and Roy and your band of helpers for the ladies. Well done. Of course, Fours crews do not get anywhere without their coxswains, and we have been pretty lucky over the years to have had some bloody good ones. Jonathan Best, who I'm not sure anybody on this video actually knows.
I do.
Sarah Smith, Sally Weldon, and of course for more years than I care to remember, Ches Hill. So we had a new kid on the block last year, William Duff, had done his apprenticeship at a young age thanks to his Auntie Elle, and now added a growing confidence to his undoubted steering skills. Recognised time and again by the race officials last year, culminating in the Cox of the Year. All your crews, and one stroke in particular, are very proud of you. Well done.
Yeah.
Second page of 20.
Oh,
No, no,
put them away.
only 3.
You think
I left this last one to last, because what can be said about this young man that has not already been said? Will Gibbs started 2019, just pleased if he could go out in the scull and come back without having taken a dip in the sea. Come August, he was Hanson Dorset Junior Champion. Having breezed through the novice status, he then took on the established junior scullers with relish. In fact, on one day at Shanklin, he won both events, not showing off or anything. His efforts in training this winter have been an inspiration to many in the junior men's squad. He has also already won the senior sculls at the small boats head this year, as well as 2 many wins at our own Hulls Bay head. Roy may be able to keep a cool head about his son's success at times, but his mum certainly doesn't.
Yeah.
And it is a delight to watch, Jane. Very well done, Will. We are again very proud of you. Many people have been working so hard this winter to prepare for the season, and it is heartbreaking to think that we may not get the chance to test ourselves against other clubs this summer. I have always considered the junior men to be a 2-year project rather than a quick win. Not surprising when you feel they still needed to be taught to do up their gait when going out in pairs. In Reece. But there we go. But if we can keep our motivation going for just another 13 months, then we can look forward to a successful season. And talking of motivation, now is the time to mention the April, or should it be called Alison's Challenge? Christ, that woman is a bloody slave driver. What a fantastic idea and an equally brilliant effort by all of you to meet Alison's moving target. To think her original idea was for 5 million metres. Thank you, Alison. It has certainly helped April to fly by, to keep us fit, stopped you from getting bored, and most importantly, brought us all together. So I'm just going to pass over to Alison to announce the results.
I'm not worried. You great. Me go.
Thank you, Pete. I have written a little speech, which you've just ruined my first paragraph.
Dave does that to me all the time.
When I first raised the idea of the challenge to Pete, I'd suggested a target of 5 million metres. I felt this was achievable. When we then heard about Matt's marathon challenge, we felt it needed to be raised to 10 million. I must admit, I felt that was stretching our capabilities. We hit 10 million metres on day 19. The challenge has never been about who can row the fastest, who can cycle or run the furthest. It's always been about keeping us together as a club, all working towards the same goal. With that in mind, I'm not going to mention who contributed the most, but just a couple of achievements that touched a chord during this challenge. 128 people contributed.
Wow.
Sue Gilder now cycles her commute to work. Louise Northbrook cycled 7.5 miles, which might not sound like a lot to some of you, but try cycling only using one leg to push. Louise, you are an inspiration.
Oh,
Simon Whitting set himself a challenge to row 10,000 metres a day, which he succeeded to do, and sometimes he did more. We were joined by 2 vice presidents, Jeff Yeoman and Dave Mills, who dusted off their bikes and got pedalling. My all-time favourite, Sue Southcott with her adventures on Beryl.
no.
I would also like to say a huge thank you to Lynn Bentley, who now guides us through a weekly Pilates class. Don't knock it until you've tried it. We will all have tales to tell from our lockdown. Well, one that is close to my heart is the challenge to motivate from a distance. I asked Holly and William to compete 2,000 and 10,000 metres respectively on the last day. Holly was a little bit unsure at first, not using the ergo like her brother, but she texted me when she'd finished her first 2,000. Holly, I think you can do another 1,000. Holly had a little think about it and then texted me back. Auntie Al, I'll do it for chocolate.
That's my girl.
That was a deal. She then texted me back a photograph. I've done it in 6 minutes 17. Holly, I said, I think that's brilliant, but I think you can get under 6 minutes. Okay, Auntie Al, if it gets me out of schoolwork, I'll do it. She then sends me back another photograph. She's done it in 5 minutes 42.
God.
She then texts me, I'm going to have another go because then I've done 5,000 metres. I said, brilliant. And I think you can get even quicker. Well, I was going to take it slower because I'm actually starting to feel a little bit sick. William placed a pan of chocolat on top of the ergo and encouraged her by the side whilst I was on house party down with the kids.
Yellow.
She completed her final 1,000 metres in 5 minutes 20. So she then knocked a minute off in 3 attempts.
Wow.
Well done, Holly.
Yay!
Now the bit you've all been waiting for. How well did we do?
Yellow.
17,514,666
Wow.
converted metres. Actual metres, that was converted, but we actually took a distance of 26 million metres. I'm so overwhelmed with what we have achieved as a club. I'm so proud. And on that note, I'd like to raise a toast.
Hey.
Poole Rowing Club, you've done it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Good idea, Al.
Well done, everybody.
Thank you. Well done.
Okay, right. Thanks very much, Alison. I also want to say a particular thanks to all the coaches both the adult and the J16, the coordinators of the various squads, the committee, particularly Megan and Sarah, who take on those onerous tasks of secretary and treasurer. Also, of course, although I think he's been a bit bored recently, our boatman Kevin. Not quite sure when you're going to have anything to repair, Kev. Obviously, Alison as vice captain. To Pete and to Rob, Roy and Will, who do all sorts of jobs around the place when they're asked, and sometimes when they're not asked, of course. And to all the rowers and club members who just pitch in when something needs to be done. So to that end, I have the pleasure in announcing a few of the awards this evening. The first being the J16 of the year. And thanks to the efforts of Alison, Clary, Sue, and Steve, and a band of helpers, we have a flourishing junior group.
Amazing. Coaching.
Weather has not been kind to them this winter.
Yeah.
And so they have all done fantastically well.
It's only there.
We also had some great results last year at the boys 4, and also at the Itchen Junior Regatta in the
See them, or would you like to?
Will, and also Will again. I think the picture of the whole squad at Itchen definitely gets framed
Alison
and put on the club wall, as it shows the true spirit of our club. Keep badgering me until it's done. But what J16 does stand out this season is willingness to train, jump in any boat to ensure fellow juniors get out on the water,
there is ice frames on this one.
and his particular thirst for trophies, which reminds me of a certain club captain. And so this year's J16 Trophy of the Year winner is William Will Duff.
Hey!
Worked the plan. Somebody has a trophy.
There she is.
Oh, yeah. So, camera on it. She pushed it away.
That's her, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's one.
Well done, Will. Well done, Will.
Some people are probably just on the same.
Crowding dog in the background.
She doesn't like the noise.
She doesn't like clapping. Okay, right. Now, despite, she's sat here between my legs now. Despite 20 novice rowers winning last year, we still have plenty in the squads of both genders. Many are very new, whilst some were very unlucky to miss out on the success of last year. And it is to those that we look to put aside their disappointment and cast their lot in again with another group of talented and sometimes not so talented raw novices, and to try again. One who was perhaps more unlucky than most, but has not let that stop her from being at the club at every opportunity with her every ready smile to row or to cox or just to lift boats. And so our novice of the year is Hannah Perry.
Oh.
Well done, Hannah.
Hannah.
Oh, well done.
Well done, Hannah.
Worthy winner.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well done.
Is she going to say a few words?
Come on, Hannah, say a few words.
Thank you.
Let it be rest assured, no social distancing rules were broken to get these trophies to the various recipients.
Oh.
Now, unfortunately, Tracy, our until recent chairman, was unable to join us tonight. So she asked me to announce her choice for the Chairman's Cup.
Tracy.
Just making sure that I can see them on screen somewhere.
Careful.
Yeah. Okay, right. So, Tracy's choice for the Chairman's Cup. A person who has since coming back into the club has taken an increasingly active role in getting things done around the club, from coordinating squads coaching, launch driving, engineering, trailer fixing. He is certainly my go-to guy.
Alfred.
So the recipient of this year's Chairman's Cup is Roy Gibbs. And Will's lost the cup. Here we are.
Hey, well done. Right.
Oh, where is he?
I'll have to fill it up now.
Right.
Okay, we're nearly there.
Right, well deserved.
Okay, so just to finish off, I want to update you on a few things from the business plan.
And your
I've
partner
already,
from here.
I hadn't, in fact, because I cut this bit out, so I haven't already mentioned, we purchased the Dave Vincent last summer, and the Jasper 2 is ready for its sea trials and christening. So the coastal fleet continues to grow. Thanks to Rob's sterling efforts, we have recently acquired 2 doubles and a single for the river fleet. Well, we are meeting our commitments there. The pontoon extension has been ordered,
Yeah.
and it was due to arrive last month. But of course, unfortunately, the lockdown occurred in Sweden. Well, not much in Sweden, but enough in here to say that it's still on its way.
You didn't touch it.
But hopefully, soon after the lockdown is finished, we'll have our pontoon extension installed. It may seem to all that it's all quiet on the new clubhouse. I had an email from the developers just 2 weeks ago to say that they were still working things through with the council planners, albeit slowly. So they hope to be able to have more meaningful conversations with us in the near future. Now, some of you know that I became a proud professor of the club archives last year. The minutes go back all the way to our formation in 1873. One thing the bad weather the last few days has enabled me to do is actually to write the meaningful words on my book, The History of Poole Rowing Club.
Wow.
I've stopped scribbling notes and writing chapter headings. I've actually written the first chapter of 1,000 words. So I thought I would just read them out to you now.
Go on then. Go on then.
Don't worry. I'm not going to.
Oh, come on.
You'll have to buy the book.
The first 10.
The only
Please don't.
thing I will.
I'll buy the book, I promise.
Literally one thing. In the rules of 1873, it said the club colours shall be light blue.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God about 8 years later they changed that to red and white stripes. So, thank you all so much for joining in tonight, which is good done. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. We will meet again soon, sometime.
Don't know where, don't know when.
On the club pontoon.
I know where.
But in the meantime, I've promised my wife a dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got to watch.
No, you can get up and dance yourself.
Do you?
He switched it off.
Oh, God.
You go then.
Sure about
Dirty dancing.
Oh.
Don't judge me.
Oh.
You might give us some good dancing.
that. Right, it'll just go wrong.
That's better. Actually see people now.
Right at the end.
Same.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Hang out.
Yeah, there's one.
oh, Susie. Oh, look.
Why waving at them like that? Waving at them like that.
Ali, would you like the dog? Would you like the dog?
You can talk about yourself now.